Welcome to the latest edition of NHL Connections Point Shot. First off, I just want to give an apology to all our viewers out there. As I'm sure many of you noticed, we failed to air any episodes the last 2 weeks. Unfortunately, sometimes personal life takes priority, and I was on the road visiting my girlfriend, so was unable to do any video work while I was on the road, so I hope you guys can all forgive me for that. Anyways, let's jump right into today's episode. First off, we'll rewind all the way back to our last episode and the question of the day. Now, the question of the day from the last episode was, how far do you think the Vancouver Canucks will advance in the 2011 Stanley Cup playoffs? We took your responses, and leading the way in a very, very close vote, 35% of you stated that the Vancouver Canucks would go as far as the Western Conference Finals and no further. The other two responses that we had both came in at 32.5% respectively. Now, 32.5% of you voted that the Vancouver Canucks would not make it out of that second round series with the Nashville Predators. You guys were wrong. Now, the other 32.5% voted that the Vancouver Canucks would go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Moving right along into our episode, let's get back to talking about NHL hockey in Winnipeg. Last week, Glendale City Council voted 5 in favor with only 2 opposed in order to provide the NHL with $25 million in taxpayer money in order to supplement losses from the Phoenix Coyotes franchise for next season. That effectively allowed Glendale to keep the Coyotes for one more year through the 2011-2012 season. As we all know, talked about in a previous episode, the Coyotes were very close to being on the move back to Winnipeg. So when this vote occurred, the hopes of many hockey fans in Winnipeg were dashed very quickly. But within a week of that vote going down, we have already had more speculation arise as to Winnipeg receiving another NHL franchise. The Atlanta Thrashers' current ownership have been looking for a new ownership group for over 2 years now, and this past season, the Thrashers averaged under 14,000 in attendance per night, which left them sitting approximately 28 out of 30 in league attendance. The Thrashers have been struggling in many of the same ways that the Coyotes have been struggling over the past few seasons. It just hasn't been quite as publicized because there have been much more limited amount of rumors and speculation revolving around the Thrashers franchise. Now that the Coyotes have at least 1 year of stability, everything has shifted back onto the Thrashers franchise. It has already been rumored that current Thrashers ownership are in discussion with True North Sports, the ownership group based out of Winnipeg, who is trying extremely hard to bring NHL hockey back to the province of Manitoba. As it stands, there has been no official word from either the Atlanta Thrashers ownership or the National Hockey League as to whether or not these talks are actually happening. But many experts do estimate that if a relocation is going to take place, an official decision will have to be made within the next 3 weeks. One major difference between the Thrashers and the Coyotes situation as it currently stands, there has been very little response from fans within the Atlanta community to these speculatory rumors. In Phoenix, Coyotes fans staged a rally where 5,000 people gathered outside of the Jobing.com arena in order to support their team, show that they want the team to stay in Glendale. Nothing of the sort has happened in Atlanta. Currently, as it stands, if you're wanting to show your support for the Atlanta Thrashers staying in Atlanta, you can visit keepthethrashers.com. There they've posted a number of different ways that you can show your support for the team, gather attention to local politicians in order to help raise awareness for the cause of keeping the Thrashers in Atlanta. If you would like to support the Thrashers, please visit keepthethrashers.com. Otherwise, if you are a Winnipegger, I hope I got that right, or a Manitoban, in my opinion, I would say the future looks bright for hockey in the province of Manitoba. It doesn't seem as though there is the support in Atlanta. While I criticized Phoenix for not having support, there was at least a little bit of support there for the team, and there were a strong group of dedicated fans that really voiced their opinions and voiced their displeasure with the potential of a relocation. I haven't seen any of that in Atlanta. I don't know if it's just taking time to come to the surface, But right now, I honestly do not see a very long future for the Thrashers in Atlanta. In fact, I'm of the opinion that by the end of the Stanley Cup playoffs, Winnipeg will have a National Hockey League team, and it will be the former Atlanta Thrashers. With that being said, we always want to hear your thoughts, your opinions, and your questions if you have them. So please feel free to leave them down below in the comments section or on NHL Connection at the bottom of our article. Last but not least, as per every episode, we'll move on to the question of the day. Our question of the day today is, if Winnipeg is to be awarded a National Hockey League franchise, what would you name the team? Please leave your creative comments and responses in the section below. Look forward to reading them and also sharing them with all of you guys in our next episode of Point Shots. That's all I've got for you today on NHL Connections Point Shots.